And Mark Stein of the New York Times reports the Pelicans are even considering shutting AD down for the rest of the season if they don't trade him by next Thursday's deadline. So, Shannon, what do you make of all this?
I understand why the Pelicans did it. A hype video at the beginning of the game is to get your fans engaged. Well, the best player that you have has publicly come out and says he no longer wants to be there. And you know what's going to happen. Now, it was reported that when he walked out of the tunnel, there was a smattering of boos, not wholesale, not everybody in the arena, but there was a smattering of boos going on. So can you imagine a hype video to get your fans engaged, also to let the team know that your fans are really engaged tonight and they see Anthony Davis? So I don't have a problem with them taking him out of it. It's understandable because it is hard. It is really hard when someone tells you they no longer want to be with you. It's not about money because, and the NBA has really tried to take this out of, well, he can go somewhere else and make the same amount of money. No, Anthony Davis is willing to risk $40 million. If he trades somewhere else and he doesn't sign, he's willing to risk $90 million. So it tells you the lengths in which he's willing to go to make sure he's no longer a Pelican. And so I understand both sides of the argument. I understand why the Pelicans did what they did. I have no problem whatsoever. Now, I would have a problem if they shut him down for no reason because they're upset because he requested that they be traded and they don't want him around the team knowing that he no longer wants to be there. But considering Cleveland is paying J.R. Smith basically $16 million this year to stay away, Houston paid Carmelo Anthony all money to stay away from the team. So I guess it's well within their rights to do so, but that would not be a good look. And it just goes to show you, teams can do what they want to do. We can pay you to stay away, but Anthony Davis requesting a trade, now everybody has a problem when teams go behind players back all the time and trade them.
I hear everything you just said, and I do want to credit Anthony in a couple of areas. He did go to their away game the other night and sit on the bench, and obviously he's got a hurt finger, so it's a legitimate excuse not to be playing right now.
Correct.
And he went to their home game last night, and he sat on the end of the bench, and he took whatever booze he was going to have to take, and I don't think he loved that because I think I've told you before, he's a good kid with a good heart.
Yes.
And kind of a thin skin in that he's never been a bad guy. He's never been a villain before. He wants to be seen as a good guy. He's talked for years about how much he loves New Orleans, fans of New Orleans, Pelican fans, and I'm sure it is tearing him apart to have set the bridge on fire that he built for so long with those fans. And to your point, that reservoir of love that he's filled over the years, I think it served him well last night because it was just a smattering of booze. If he was unlikable to begin with, they would have rained booze on him. They would have booed him out of the arena because they wouldn't even want to see the sight of him sitting on the end of the bench. So they at least tolerated his presence last night. And it was also reported he took his team out for dinner when they were, I think, in Houston. So he's trying to make amends. He's trying to make everybody understand, I'm just trying to do what's in my heart right now. It's not about the money, as you just said. It's just about he wants to live in LA and play with LeBron for the Lakers. Now, to the bigger picture, are the Pelicans trying to punish him by, scrubbing him, if you will, from that hype video? Maybe a little bit. Then the great Mark Stein has reported that they are considering just shutting him down for the rest of the year. Would that just be, you talk about J.R. Smith, is it just punishment, just like we'll get you back a little bit for this?
Basically, yes.
And it brings us back to the system. We talk about this all the time. The NBA is a players' league. It's been the underdog league to the NFL, and so the owners had to sort of hand the game over to the players. And we like that. I appreciate that. Okay. Because you played a game that was the owner's game. And you were lucky to get paid what you got paid.
Correct.
And again, you love your NFL, and you love a lot of the owners, and you love the owner you played for in Denver, and you love the owner you played for in Baltimore. But in the end, they rule with pretty much an iron fist. And we're going to talk about Commissioner Goodell in a moment. He rules with an iron fist, and we don't always like that because they rule. It's not the players' game. The players wear helmets, and if the owners had their way, you wouldn't even really know who they were. They don't sell and market stars. the NBA markets star power. It's
Star driven
LeBron and
league.
KD and Steph, and we can go and
James Harden.
and and we can Russell, and we can go on and on. And it's a great stars game, and boy, it has made inroads because they have handed the game over to their players. Well, all of a sudden, the players are saying, okay, we're going to take full advantage of this. And it started really last year. We can go back to LeBron. LeBron did it the right way. He never took advantage. He never forced his way out of anywhere. He just took advantage of the rules as they were. And he took his talents to South Beach, and then he was coming home, and he went back home, and then he went to LA, and he was signing one-year deals. So it's within his power to do what he did. But all of a sudden, that guy number 2 in San Antonio just said, I'm tired of this. I don't want to play in this little town anymore. I don't like the way they've sort of treated me in some ways. They didn't immediately offer me the max. I'm going to force my way out of here. I'm going to, in my opinion, I'm going to fake an injury and force my way into a trade. And they finally threw up their hands and said, well, we don't know what else we can do. I can tell you this. I have several friends in San Antonio, and I have one longtime friend in Oklahoma City. They are outraged over what Anthony Davis is doing.
Really?
Because there's no protection for the smaller markets. It looks like now the players just run amok, where they have a contract and they can just say, we don't care. We'll just force our way out. Rich Paul will announce he's going to LA. That's all he wants to do is go to LA. Buyer beware, all you people. Don't bid for him because he's not going to commit long-term to Boston or the Knicks or anybody else. So it's like, what value is the contract anymore, right? And for me, Shannon, I think we lost Shannon here just for a second. You okay? Can you hear me okay?
Maybe you've silenced
All right,
Shannon.
I have. So I'm going to speak for just a second here. So more for you.
Yeah.
So we all have contracts here. And I just, 2.5 years ago, I went through a situation whereby I was at ESPN.
Okay.
And at some point, about 6 months ahead of the expiration of my contract date, I decided I want to come to Fox.
Okay.
They made me a really nice offer and thought about it. I was just, I thought this could be great. I thought I had the best job in sports media, but for many reasons, I wanted to be in Los Angeles at Fox. And all of a sudden, ESPN said, we see the handwriting on the wall. Well, good, go to Fox, but you can't leave. So I couldn't just leave. So why did we start on September 6th of 2016 here? So odd day to start.
Sure.
It was the Tuesday, I think, after Memorial.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. And we started here on September 6th because it was the first day I was free from my ESPN contract.
Okay.
They're hard-bound contracts. You cannot, there's no wiggle room. Nobody's going to let you out even a day early. And I don't blame ESPN for that at all because I signed it in good faith, and they paid me in good faith, and they paid me all the way up until September 6th of 2016. So it's hard for me to swallow that Anthony Davis is just able to say, what contract? I don't care about my contract. I want out. I want to go to LA. And the guy in San Antonio did the same thing. Yep. Jimmy Butler sort of did the same thing. They just say, well, we just want out. Well, you have a deal. Well, deals don't seem to matter anymore, but boy, they matter in the National Football League. What happened to Le'Veon this year?
Yeah.
Le'Veon said, I don't like what you're offering me. And they said, okay, don't get paid for the rest of the year. And he just sat, and it got ugly, and that's the NFL versus the NBA.
And it feels like the way he's being perceived by the fans for everything he has done for them, if it ends this way, it creates just a hard way for him to go.
Yep.
He is going to be on the move.
So why is it that I haven't been harder on the NBA for allowing this? Because in my heart of hearts, maybe because we live in Los Angeles, I think it'd be great for the NBA to have Anthony and LeBron in Los Angeles. And so I don't know if Shannon can hear me. I hope he can't, because here's the truth of the situation right now. I would love for Anthony to come to LA because LeBron would have no more excuses. And it would remind me of what happened 1 year ago at the trade deadline, when all of a sudden, what happened? Boom, everything happened. The Cleveland Cavaliers acquired Jordan Clarkson and Rodney Hood and Larry Nance and George Hill. And all of a sudden, Shannon Sharp and Chris Broussard here on Undisputed had no more excuses. So I would love for Anthony to come because it'd be fun for me to watch LeBron and Anthony in what's left of this year's Lakers, because it's possible 4 of the kids would be gone at that point. Yep. The top kids would be gone. And all of a sudden, you'd still have Rondo and JaVale and Lance. And then could you mix and match that and make a run at Golden State? I doubt it. But I've always said, as much as I like Anthony as a kid, he's a little overrated because he's not a difference maker. Would LeBron make him a difference maker? Would they be a good pair? Yeah, they could be. But it would be fun for me to watch that. It would be great theater because I'm not sure that those 2 alone could take down Golden State. In fact, I seriously doubt they could. Shannon thinks they could, but then LeBron would have no more excuses. So I think I'm leaning toward who cares about contracts and rules because, well, let's just see what happens because I want to see LeBron and Anthony see if they can make a run.
But Skip, this is all.
Aha, you're back.
The
NBA
silenced
him for a bit.
Yeah, the NBA has always been a star. The NBA has always been a star-driven league. There's a reason why Magic Johnson could request says it's either him or the head coach after the head coach had led him to an NBA title.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I got you. But in those days, Magic couldn't force his way out. He was just Magic Johnson. So in the end, I'm with you. He was so big at that point to them that they erred on his side.
All right, well, we have plenty more to get to on the show, like Tom Brady. Let's talk about what he is about to do because he could be making more history. We'll be right back on Undisputed.